to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of jingle and a whole lot of bells. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy from Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Mr. Santa's Reindeer Chuck Bailey, and super producer, the Grinch, Ian Stimson. How's it going, boys?
Which reindeer? I won't be Blitzen. Don't make me Blitzen.
You're Olive, the other reindeer.
We were all aware of Chuck's long-term anti-Blitzen agenda.
Definitely. Who's Olive? Olive the reindeer?
Yeah, do you know have that movie over there? You know, in the Rudolph song, they're like, Olive, the other reindeer, used to laugh and call him names. So somebody made a movie about Olive, the other reindeer.
That is a thin premise.
That is, thin.
Wow.
Wafer fucking thin.
Wafer thin.
Even I haven't seen it, but I would assume it's about, like, embracing yourself, even if you're an outsider and an outcast and blah. I'm like, we already have Rudolph for that. What's Olive doing here?
I like the idea that Rudolph might have been bullying Olive.
Just payback.
What, he was paying it forward in that way?
Is that paying it backwards?
Payback?
Is
that where payback
paying
comes
it
from?
backwards.
Whoa.
Is that what payback
That's
stands
already
for?
a film. That's already a film.
Merry Christmas.
Die Hard.
Ian, let's
Fucking
check in
Obama. Obama said Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, not my president.
I mean, literally not. That's true. Yeah, that's a whole separate conversation about what's a Christmas movie and what's
The
not.
conversation's done. Die Hard's the best Christmas movie of all time.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had this exact debate last year, too.
Every year, I think. I watched Home Alone 2 last week, and I'm very surprised that those people still had their kids.
Awful people.
And they weren't taken away.
Yeah. Well, white, middle class, middle to upper class family. That house is ridiculous. What the hell did he do for a living?
And with that many kids, are you kidding me?
Insane.
What do they have, like 15 kids and they can afford a big house? I'd be living in a shoebox if I had that many kids.
Drug lord.
I mean, I don't want any kids, so I don't have to live in a shoebox ever. I can live in a nice house, but, you know, if one has that many children, then it must be hard to live in a nice house.
If one were to make that life decision.
Yeah, and I found if you keep all your shoe boxes, then, you know, it just gives you more areas for activity.
And you can make a fort, which is kind of like a house.
Is Home Alone 2 one of the only films that is better than the prequel?
Oh, better follow. That's a whole...
Better as in a greater form of negligence upon your child, or...
I'm not making a value judgment on their parenting, which we've already discussed is appalling. But it's one of the few films that's better than the first film.
I mean, right off the top of my head, the most important movie trilogy of all time, Star Wars, Empire is better than New Hope.
True, yeah, good one. Terminator 2, better than the first one discussed.
Terminator 2, definitely better than the first one, that's true.
Yeah.
Join us next week as we list random trilogies with a good middle installment.
Shocked that Oscar doesn't want to talk about the football this week.
Yeah.
He's happy to talk about this.
Start things off with the big story, which is the Papa John's Trophy. Mr. Stimson, care to tell us about what's going on in the Papa John's Trophy?
So we
Fresh from the oven.
We absolutely smashed the minnows of the West Ham under-21s.
Congratulations, they're only 13.
Yeah, I don't know. What do I say about this? Yes, we found some form by beating
children.
West Ham's by beating children. Yarmolenko played.
What?
Yeah, Petr Cech is literally playing with the Chelsea under-23s right now as we record.
There's a couple of other players I'm sure I'd heard of. And we got some form because we beat Rochdale 4-1. Clark Harris, our striker, had a hat-trick within 25 minutes. So good times now. You know, we've drawn Portsmouth in the next round, so we're out.
Well, you're out, that's
but,
it.
But, you know, whatever. Good times for a little while.
No more Papa John's for you.
No.
No, although if Papa John's want to throw us a sponsorship, I'd be happy to talk about how great their pizza is and how it definitely doesn't make me sick for days at a time every time I have it.
And how Papa John himself is an awful person.
Yeah?
I'm sure, yeah. Well, he is a corporate overlord of some company in the US, so...
a terrible... I listened to a podcast that reviewed like his autobiography and he just comes across like such a self-absorbed mental case, like just awful person. Wanted to like send his workers home so they were off the clock, but then bring them back if the franchise suddenly got busy, so as he didn't have to pay them for their 20 minutes while they went home, which would have all been travel time anyway. Awful man. Still, I'd like to win the Papa John's Trophy.
Well, speaking of awful assholes, we are the Miles Offside podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you are joining us for the first time, we are very happy to have you. We are one American and two Brits who talk about the Premier League, but mostly go off topic. And if you are back...
Never. Really?
A little bit, yeah. If you are joining us on returning. If you are back, thank you.
What? You do the same... Say it's just the same thing every fucking week and you still...
Words and talking.
Nah, I don't like to say things the same way twice. Come on. You know.
You don't have a choice.
Well, this isn't the 114th time. I mean, like, fucking hell.
Just a few.
Some consistency is fine.
You know, the reviews and likes and sharing with people and all that stuff. You know the stuff. And with that, we'll kick things off with our very, very famous segment. Rapid fire news. Our top story this evening, gentlemen. It's a coincidence that most people would not have spotted in their wildest dreams, but when it comes to predicting scorelines, Corinthians fans have found a way to know when to fill in the blank space for a win. That's right, Brazilian Twitter user Timao Dados noticed that the Sao Paulo Giants have never lost their last game before the release of a Taylor Swift album or the one immediately after. It is a streak that goes back 15 years when they have won every single time the match before and after a Taylor Swift release.
What? Top story?
Yeah, we got all the big ones, you know.
Fucking story.
It never ceases to amaze me how superstitious football and football fans are. It's genius.
It just gets more and more bollocks as the years go by, doesn't it?
They're just begging for more Taylor Swift music. I just like the idea of Corinthians fans just tweeting Taylor Swift going, when is the next album dropping, please?
Can you time it around the Champions League final and semifinals, please?
Does it count for re-releases? Can they just pay her to keep re-releasing the album in Brazil?
She's re-recorded all her masters. I mean,
just one bonus track, a deluxe edition with a music video or whatever. Someone photoshopped a picture of her at the, what would that be? The American Country Music Awards, probably? Some award show, wearing a Corinthians jersey.
She's a fan.
Nice.
Yeah, she looks phenomenal in the jersey. It fits her very well, the Photoshop job.
Good.
Yeah. Do you think she'll take over, like a Wrexham situation?
I mean, the link there, maybe she'll buy Notts County.
Why not? Yeah.
I mean, I just assume that Notts County still supply Corinthians with their kits. That was the thing, wasn't it? Isn't that the history?
I don't know.
Football nerds?
Someone have no idea what you're talking about.
Corinthians got their shirts from Notts County in insert year 19, whatever.
Oh, is that because like they're an incredibly old football club? Is that so? Right, okay. Do you remember how was like with footballing coincidences? Do you remember how Aaron Ramsey was accused of killing celebrities every time he scored?
No.
Every time. So Aaron Ramsey didn't score massively often, but, you know, occasionally for Arsenal he'd score. And every time he scored, within a day or two, like a famous person would die.
Right.
It went, I mean, I haven't got these in order, but I looked this up because I like these like weird, stupid coincidences. So Alan Rickman died within days of an Aaron Ramsey goal.
Right.
David Bowie.
Yeah, that was a bad year.
Yeah, really was. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Then we get into the evil dictators, Colonel Gaddafi.
Okay.
Osama bin Laden. And Steve Jobs.
Right.
Well, I'm on his Wikipedia page right now, and he's scored 45 goals for clubs and 21 goals for his country. So
how many victims are we yet to find?
Oh my god.
Get him in for
the
questioning.
The most prolific serial killer of the 21st century is Aaron Ramsey.
I don't know. I think Shipman's still up there, but took a turn.
All right, well, we got to a sufficiently weird place, so shall we move on to the next story now? That's how this goes. Let's see. Next up, what's a good one? Yes, the Champions League draw. That's actually somewhat relevant.
Yeah.
That was the one funny story, and then there's 4 like actual news this week, which is kind of boring, but whatever.
It's what it is.
Then we have the Champions League draw. So Liverpool will be facing last season's semi-finalist RB Leipzig in the last 16 of the Champions League. Chelsea have gotten drawn with Atletico Madrid. Manchester City got an easy draw as usual. And some other big notable fixtures there are Barca facing PSG and Manchester United. Who did Manchester United get in the Champions League draw? For some reason, I'm not seeing them in the round of 16
That's really
of the
weird.
Champions
It's not
League.
like UEFA to make a mistake like that. It's really poor.
Yeah.
Do they not just get an automatic bye because they're such an incredible club with such great history that means that we have to bow down?
Yep.
Literally, every other English team finished top of their group in Europe. Even Arsenal. Like, have a word with yourself.
Although Arsenal already started off in the bad one. Like, I wonder if United had started... Fuck this. I don't care about United. Let's see. Liverpool, Leipzig. That's a good one. Leipzig are very, very good.
I think all of the fixtures, I mean, they should be because it's like the best teams, but pretty much all the fixtures are really good and quite competitive considering how many of the big teams are having a bit of a shit show this year. Like, Real Madrid aren't performing that well. Barcelona aren't. So, who is it? It's Atalanta, Real Madrid. So that could be a really interesting game. Liverpool, Leipzig.
Yeah, Atalanta are like the analytics darlings. Everybody in analytics is just obsessed with Atalanta. So they're good. And a lot of people in the mainstream haven't noticed.
I don't know if no one knows. It very much, at this point, it feels like, you know, when people kept saying Belgium were dark horses, like, we're in about the 4th year now of Atalanta being... quote unquote unexpectedly good or whatever it is.
Well, expectedly, because we're going off expected goals. They're expectedly good.
How many goals are unexpected?
Kane's was.
Oh, fuck off you.
We'll get to that. I think you said something really that kind of touches on why the fixtures are all really good, or really good on paper, quote unquote, right? Because you see like PSG versus Barca, and you're like, oh my god, what a massive fixture. But like PSG are just way better than Barca, and I think the reason that we have all these big fixtures on paper is because a lot of these teams are struggling, and so it led to a lot of big names coming in second place in the group, which then puts him up against other like quote unquote big teams that won their group. So like Chelsea drawing Atletico is like not ideal given that we won our fucking group, right? Like I don't want Atletico, especially scares me more than like a lot of other teams that are quote unquote in crisis. But I don't know, man. Do you guys think, other than probably City, because they're much, much better than Borussia Mönchengladbach, do you guys see Liverpool and or Chelsea making it to the next round?
I think it's a collection of fixtures where you could possibly justify everyone. You know, we've seen a different form of Chelsea recently, being able to be more defensive. A lot of people now know what Simeone's Atletico are about. They're doing I think they're doing quite well this season. I don't know. I can pretend I know La Liga. Real Sociedad at the top. I know that. And Man United have got them. Man City should have kept David Silva. Yeah, but no, I think they're all really good matchups. I think they are, and I think that's what makes, like, a lot of people are kind of saying that it makes, you know, the usual dig is always the Farmers League, etc., etc. I take Farmers League to mean when there's just one team that wins it every year, like France, and then the rest of it's just like, who knows what's going on, right? Because there's such a huge drop in standard. Whereas now it's kind of being turned on the Premier League and stuff, especially this weekend with none of the big six. I say big six because it's the top 5 and Arsenal winning. Did any of them win? No. That makes it a Farmers League, but I don't know. It's kind of weird that almost for me makes it more competitive and better. And then if you apply that to the Champions League, then that's what that should be about, right? It should just be about best teams and coming through and those guys, that kind of jazz.
Yeah. I just was pulling up the stats while you said that because you said you don't know how good Atletico are. They are currently 3rd on expected in La Liga, ahead of both Real Madrid and Barcelona. So not a great draw for Chelsea. And if I pull over to the Bundesliga table and sort by expected, we have Leipzig at the very top, and holy shit. 5, nope, doing math. Yeah, 5, nope, doing math. 6 points clear. I can't subtract when there's decimals involved. 6 points expected of... 6 expected points clear of Bayern Munich. 6.
I remember sort of having a talk and we go, what thing is, there's a lot of podcasts with people talking about football. What's the USP? Well, not many have got an American who's really good at maths, you know. Fuck me.
Okay, that's 100% correct. I got nothing. I mean, you know what I always say to that. There's a difference between real math and arithmetic math. I can't do arithmetic math in my head, but I can do equations.
It's all numbers, mate. All of it. All numbers.
All numbers. That's true. Everything is numbers. All of us. I'm going to move on to the next story. Coronavirus tears. London's football clubs will be unable to host fans from Wednesday.
Oh, that's not a good thing, is it? I thought that meant we got promoted. Damn it.
Promotion.
Not for Palace. No, because I think you guys benefited quite a bit from the crowds this weekend. But let me just get this out. The Capital's moving into Tier 3, so all London clubs as of Wednesday will not be allowed to have any fans. As it stands, only Liverpool, Everton, Southampton, and Brighton will be able to allow fans inside for top-flight fixtures. Doesn't that seem like a situation where maybe you just want to not allow any teams?
No, I think...
That's a huge advantage for just those four.
No, I think they need to make the Brighton fans make the most of it because they're not going to have Premier League games for much longer. So they need to be able to get in and see them.
Can't let one go.
Scum.
Subhuman scum.
Is it that huge of an advantage? We haven't really seen any sort of pattern. Like, Burnley won and they were at the Emirates and Arsenal had fans.
Yeah, I mean, they must be delighted to be going into Tier 3. Don't have to go and watch Arsenal anymore. Fucking
even in a full house, Arsenal Stadium doesn't make any sound, let alone at like 20% capacity or whatever it is.
What? Is it like if a tree fell in the forest? If a fan went to the Emirates, do they make any sound?
Yeah, exactly.
If Aubameyang scores a goal, does it count for Arsenal?
No, it
Not
doesn't.
so much this season because he has more own goals or the same number of own goals as regular goals.
He's also Burnley's second highest goal scorer, so well done.
Boy, two very, very interesting stats. Chuck, do you not feel though, like in all seriousness, do you not feel like the Palace fans really helped in that result and especially in that performance? We'll get to the Tottenham thing, but like, I felt like the fans were really dragging that team from preventing them from like dropping too deep into a shell the way they otherwise might have in other situations against a team like Spurs.
It's hard to compare because I know what kind of a team we are like when we do play bigger opposition and we do get up for games like that. And then the previous game we did attack it with the same lineup or the same front four as well. I don't think we made any changes specifically with the team, so I don't know, it'd be hard to say specifically what impact it had. Just, as it is in general, you know, we've said towards the tail end of last season, it seemed like all the young players or younger players were benefiting from there not being crowds and people playing with more freedom. But then also it was the end of the season, whereas this one, it seems to be compiling on. Now, I don't know whether that meant that it kind of arrested the slide a bit, but you know, do you think 2,000 people in Craven Cottage all of a sudden makes Fulham that team? I don't know.
It felt like it helped, though.
It feels confirmation biasy to me. It really does.
Yeah. This is all obviously like super anecdotal. There's not nearly enough data to like say anything, but at least going off like feelings, which is not at all my want as a fan. But I don't know. All right, well, let's move on. There's two like more serious stories to kind of cover. The first is a former Liverpool manager, Gerard Houllier, has died at the age of 73. The Frenchman managed the Reds from 1998 to 2004 and led them to 5 major trophies, including the FA Cup, League Cup, and UEFA Cup treble in 2000-2001. And his last managerial job was at Aston Villa. But he left in 2011 following heart problems. They haven't quite released information about what he died from that I've seen, but, you know, at his age and with heart complications, that's not necessarily the most surprising thing. I don't really know him particularly. That was before my time, but do you guys have any thoughts on this passing?
No, so I don't have a huge connection, obviously, not being part of the club, but you can tell always with the outpouring of support. I mean, you saw on a different level the Maradona one, but there's pages everywhere and managers, etc., coming out for their support of him, and Liverpool as well for a time where they did have quite good success around that time and coming into when they won the UEFA Cup and it's quite a big European treble for them and it's. Yeah, it's always sad, especially when you see like what kind of impact he had. And so, yeah, condolences out to all of them. And I'm sure there'll be a fitting tribute coming from Liverpool FC as well as other teams around the league very soon as well.
All right, well, let's move to our next story then. And one that, as we kind of touched on last week, one that's very near and dear to my heart for all the obvious reasons. In the match between PSG and Başakşehir on Tuesday in the Champions League, the match was abandoned at 0-0 after the fourth official was accused of using a racist term towards Başakşehir assistant Pierre Weibo. Players had taken a knee around the circle at the beginning of the match, obviously, and then when the incident happened, They all walked off of the pitch and refused to come back on, both teams, which was awesome. UEFA tried to just move the guy to being VAR duty, but still being on that same match the same day. And the teams were like, no, we're not playing if he's at all involved. And then they came back the next day, and PSG ran out a comfortable 5-1 win, as you might expect. That's not really the important thing. And then Mbappe said he was proud of his teammates and of the Istanbul players for walking off. Any kind of thoughts on that?
Well, firstly, it was only a matter of time before it happened. And fair play to, I mean, it was all the Başak Şehir players and obviously the manager involved that then stood up at first, and then the second that the PSG players found out, they were all saying, like, no, we're going, that's it. I think it was Kimpembe and Mbappe that kind of led all of the PSG players on, because I remember I had this game on and was kind of, they were flicking between the channels. And I saw there was like a big disturbance. So I thought, oh, someone's been sent off. And then the second I saw, and this is obviously the second part, is that it was rumoured to be racist abuse, which obviously it's not racist abuse. However, it was incredibly racially insensitive. And what is absolutely mad is that comes from an official who undoubtedly, because of his station and because of the fact you don't get selected to be a UEFA official without being on the top end of your own country, and obviously all of the different, regardless of what your national, like how people are in whatever various countries or wherever you come together, they would have the sensitivity training, and you cannot avoid what is the kind of spirit of the time at the moment of what is going on. And for him to have the referee address him and then decide in Romanian, when asked who it was that he needs to discipline, and just go, the black one or the black guy, you're like, come the fuck on, man. Like, have a bit of a gesture towards the gentleman as this gentleman here walk over. Like, why do you have to, why do you have to make it that kind of thing? Or how do you not know the people who are around you? Or it was just baffling.
It's so basic. And there's like you say, there's a million ways you could have dealt with that situation other than that. And using race as a descriptor is absolutely ridiculous, because I have never in my life, to my knowledge, and I'm fairly sure that's true, been described as the white guy over there. Like, it just doesn't happen. So it shouldn't happen in this fashion either. It's unbelievable that a match official would do that. It's more unbelievable that they would try and just go, well, we'll just shuffle him into the VAR room, like you said. I mean, just obviously, you just get rid of him. It's almost, if the referee's in control of the game, should say, right, well, immediately you're out the game. Let's figure out what we can do from here, because that needs to be looked into. But yeah, props to the players. Demba Ba was excellent when he was, because a lot of what he was saying could be picked up. And he was incredibly poised in what must have been a pretty rough situation, like very easy to get incredibly angry situation.
Yeah, he kept his composure really, really, really well, which isn't his job as a minority standing up to like a white person, basically. But that he did helps to make the argument more effective, I think. I have found that in my own experience, that once you start like getting emotional or heated, then people are very quick to dismiss you as someone who's like hysterical or overreacting or whatever.
Wrongly, but yeah, that is absolutely
right, exactly.
What happens.
Yeah. And so Demba Ba keeping his cool while not his job, I think, was really, really helpful there. Yeah.
So as Chuck and you've said, kudos to players of both teams for this is the only way it's going to get dealt with. If it shouldn't be this way, but if the players take a stand like this, it immediately blew this up into a huge story, which is what it should be. If nothing else, just to get awareness of some other ageing match officials who might realise that this sort of conduct just isn't appropriate. So, yeah, I mean, a good thing, I guess, but that stemmed from not a great thing.
Yeah, I think it's like we've been saying this for fucking years now on this podcast, that like the players just need to walk off the pitch, and the fact that we finally saw it, and we talked about this a little bit with Landon Donovan's team when they did that a few weeks ago also, that it's happening more is like really, it gives me hope, so to speak, although the cynical side of me does wonder if it had been a fan or even a team player from the opposing team that did it, would the reaction have been as strong as it being a referee? Which, by the way, is fucking insane that it's a referee.
Yeah,
like,
unbelievable that we even have to talk about that. Yeah.
Or even a referee with, 50,000 fans or however big their stadium is in the stadium on a Champions League night. Like, are the players going to be like, we can't just walk out? How is this crowd going to react? Like, we'll see. But certainly every step forward is a good step forward. And so that they walked off even in this situation is progress, which is great. I did just want to throw out a sort of minority or person of color perspective on this, which is that I have had many, many times in my life been described as the Hispanic guy or that Hispanic one. And even though the word Hispanic, or in this case, that black guy, like those words aren't racist abuse in and of themselves, the choice to highlight it, the tone of voice in which it is said, which you could hear it in the clip, like this is very readily available if you want to find it online, of the ref, and you can hear him, the way he says it. Like, the source, there's just so many other factors that go into saying those 3 words, those 5 words, whatever, that can very much turn it into racial abuse in terms of the implication of the power dynamics and you have no power here, what you think doesn't matter, I can do what I want, all those implications that are really what sort of is under the surface of racist abuse in terms of like the malicious intent to make you feel little, to make you feel lesser, to make you like all of the things that are a racist person's goal when they hurl racial abuse at you. All of those things can very much still happen without like specifically a racial slur word being used. And after having almost 33 years of, life on this earth and having experienced that many times, hearing the tone of voice with which that official said that black guy, or the word that he used, which is the same one in Spanish and a bunch of other words, and the connotations that would carry, and the specific, like, intent. You can never know someone's intent, but, like, you fucking learn to read the room. You fucking learn to read people after a lifetime of dealing with all that. And so I would very much go as far as to say that it was racial abuse, even if it wasn't, like, a certain specific word. And that's just something that I feel like I should say out loud to a podcast and listeners who are, I would assume, majority white. Because as we continue to have progress and grow in this world, those are the kind of things that need to be said, is that it's not just about the words. Like, plenty of people can be racist and do racial abuse around other white people and make it look like they're not, but everyone who is on the other end of it knows exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So
it feels when it's that it feels it's very dismissive that literally the only thing that Webo was or is the colour of his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's just it. That's all you are, and it's dismissive. And ignorance is not an excuse. And nowadays, and for all the people who are trying to be dismissive of it, or say, "Oh, I'm tired of players taking the knee," or "I'm tired of this," like I'm pretty sure Oscar, and obviously, I want to do whatever I can to help in whatever positive way, and I'm sure Ian's the same. But and of course, there's a bit of fatigue, but you can't stop. You can't allow. Like, I don't want to see those kind of things or hear those kind of things around me, and it's challenging. And I'm pretty sure it's a million times more tiring for you because, like you said, it's 33 years of the Hispanic guy. You know what I mean? It's not right.
And like the number of times I've had someone tell me that my accent is barely noticeable, or like, "Wow, you're really well spoken," and I'm like, "You fucking moron! I was born here. Of course, my accent is barely noticeable. Yeah, I'm well spoken. I have 2 fucking master's degrees. Like, just you know what I mean? Like that." That kind of implication. But anyway, that's a whole separate can of worms. But yeah, I do appreciate the 2 of you guys because I think you guys are phenomenal allies, and I've tried to call that out at times, but I do might as well take the opportunity now to say it again. You guys are great. Yeah. But that's enough serious stuff.
Thanks.
Let's
Chuck just aggressively agreed. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just some. I don't get many compliments, so it's just... so take it.
All right, well, let's get to the fixtures. We have a lot of good listener stuff and a very, very exciting bluffer that I'm excited about for you guys. So we're going to fly through these fixtures, actually. We don't ever really have anything interesting to say, so if you'll allow me, I will take the first few all in a row.
It's 25 minutes on Fulham.
Yeah.
25 minutes on the Fulham Revolution.
All right, well, we kicked off the week with Friday, December 11, Leeds versus West Ham. Haha, Leeds lost. They're overrated. West Ham, are they good? Maybe, question mark, remains to be seen. Saturday, December 12, Wolves 0.
Love this.
Aston Villa 1.
Where's
Wolves
this approach to rapid fire news?
To Aston Villa's 1.3, so Aston Villa getting an extra kind of point there according to the expectation. They're real good. Jack Grealish is great. I wonder how they're going to look when Ross Barkley comes back. Wolves, wow, what a disappointment. Really fell off the cliff as of last year.
Martinez was good as well.
All right, moving on. Newcastle 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Newcastle 0.9 to West Brom 0.6. I have zero thoughts on either of these teams. I think I could name like one player between the two of them. And that's all we need to say about Newcastle West Brom. I don't know. I was playing video games. I didn't watch that one. So, which brings us to the Manchester Derby. 0-0. Manchester United 0.6 to Man City's 1.3. So a 1-1.
Manchester as a city owes me 2 hours. That's what I'll say. I don't know how you're going to pay me back, Manchester, but you owe me 2 hours.
Time. How could you... Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someone from Manchester could come into my work and let me go 2 hours early.
Yeah, you're allowed to be a free man of the city for 2 hours and just walk around in your pants and it's fine.
Standard night out in Manchester.
Yeah.
For the American listeners, that means underwear. It's not just him walking around in regular pair of pants. Like, that's not...
Well, no, because in Manchester and the North that they would describe trousers as pants.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought all of England pants was underwear.
Mm-mm. No, it's because Northern English is less changed than Southern English, and Northern English is what American English comes from more than Southern English.
Is that true?
I don't know, probably. Sounded good, didn't it?
It did.
Linguistics.
If you sound smart, people will believe you. Speaking of which, I did read a book that actually American accent is closer to what you guys would have sounded like in the 1600s, but that when we... broke off English, and specifically like the aristocracy was like, we need to sound different from them, those silly Americans, and they changed the way that they talked. So the British accent is newer than the American one, actually, which is fascinating. But to get back to this, I think this is a really good... This is how boring this match was. We're talking about like
exactly.
historical
We're talking
accents.
about the linguistic properties of our various accents through the ages.
Yeah.
Wow. It is fascinating.
I think this was a good example of how Pep has reacted to adversity versus the other teams.
Not scoring goals.
Yeah, no, honestly, like he has set out to be more defensive, and it has worked to his credit. They have stabilized significantly, and they are not conceding a lot of high-value chances. Like if you sort by XGA, they are now second behind Chelsea. Which they were nowhere near that earlier on in the season. So they are moving on the way up with the defense, which is good for them. But they also need to win. They need to score goals. So,
yeah, Laporte was like their Van Dijk and was injured for a while, and now he's just like been dropped and just gone. Now it's Diaz and Stones all the time. That's nice.
Yeah, and until Man City concede 2 in a game or something, I just cannot see him going back on that. Laporte just seems out at the minute. Completely out.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Because I think he even came out and called him out after one really bad performance.
Yeah, well, apparently the Spurs one, is the...
Yeah, the Spurs one, yeah. United getting a draw against City. They also got a draw against Chelsea, getting scoreless draws against better teams. Is that a sign of positive for United or a lot of nothing? What's the deal with them?
Have we fully recalibrated our view of Manchester United? Because I'm seeing... I mean, obviously they went out of the Champions League, but... already I'm seeing the sort of, they're performing better than they were last season. I'm already seeing a sort of swing of pro Ole stuff. I mean, what I mean to say is that if we accept that Man United are now 4th, 5th, 6th place type team, then are they doing fine?
I think if you adjust your expectations, I think if
Which they ought to, Man United fans ought to, and I think a lot of them have done.
But they're not expected points wise, I know they've got a game in hand and whatever that means, but they're below Palace for expected points.
They're below Palace. They're below Arsenal. They're below Brighton. They're below
So
Leeds.
you think the negativity is hanging around because of the performances?
I just still think it's players scraping through and pulling stuff out of nowhere. And like he can keep saying, "Oh, it's the way Man United were before of going behind and stuff," but that's not that's not sustainable. It's not like it is when you're Alex Ferguson and you've built that team and it happens every so often and you know everything and you've got all the referees in your pocket and whatever. But when you're smiley happy Solskjaer, who I just want a good team spirit and he's been doing well. It's not sustainable. Like it really isn't.
No, it's really not. And I think to talk about the expectations, Ian, to me, I've adjusted twice because, like Chuck said, it's not sustainable. So we've kind of had to like keep recalibrating with them. Coming into the season, we were all pretty adamant, pretty confident that they were like very clearly the fourth best team. And it was like a gap up to Chelsea, but a gap also down to like whoever was going to be fifth place, Leicester, Spurs, Arsenal, whatever. We didn't really know at the time. I think the first like bunch of games of the season, the first couple of months, had us recalibrate that significantly downwards. And I think that's where their underlying numbers are coming from because they were so fucking bad the first 7 matches, 8 matches, whatever it was. Like they were really fucking bad. And that's why they are below Arsenal and they were below Crystal Palace and all these other teams unexpected. But I do think more recently they have improved. So I would recalibrate that to say, like, sure, now I would have them as pretty likely to end up around 5th. But because Tottenham made such a huge leap, it almost doesn't matter. Because, like, yes, United are better. They're certainly better than they were at the beginning of the season. They're trending upwards. They have had some good performances in there. But, like, to what end? Because they're not going to be as good as the 4 best teams. So unless they're hoping like City genuinely fell off a cliff and can't get back to where they were, I don't really see a route for United into the top 4. Like they're not that many points behind. They're only 2 points behind Chelsea. But in terms of the underlying numbers and in terms of the like stability in performances, because as we've talked about, they're very up and down. Like Chuck said, it's not sustainable the way they play. Sure, they're better than 8th, but I don't think they're better than 5th. So with that, let's move on then to Everton 1, Chelsea 0, Everton 1.2 to Chelsea 1.0, so a 1-1 draw.
Seems to be blitzing through this one. Sorry, what? Take your medicine.
We can actually kind of take this one as a trio because the 3 sort of horses in the big title race all drop points against teams that are admittedly worse than them. In the case of Tottenham and Liverpool, significantly worse than them. In the case of Chelsea, Everton are a little worse. But Chelsea losing 1-0. Tottenham 1-1 against Palace, and that was...
This feels like he just wants to dilute his pain by taking it with other fixtures, and then just tries to offhandedly lash out at me, saying, "Oh, it's significantly worse." Like, go fuck yourself.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's linger on Chelsea for a second then.
No. Like, I can move on from your blue piece of shit, but
no, I have some thoughts. Fine, I'll throw some thoughts out. First of all,
Jeffrey Schlupp, Premier League winner. Respect on the man's name.
We'll get to Palace. Look, this was a good example of there's a difference between a keeper making a mistake and a keeper being shit. Right?
Oh, like, I forgot. He just fucking cleared it out.
Mm-hmm. Not a great combination between Thiago Silva and Mendy there for conceding the penalty. But I'm not worried about it. Like, they had a brain fart. That happens.
He just fucking clotheslined him. Like, came in.
That is actually the second week in a row where Mendy comes off his line and does a bad job, because last week Bamford scored because Mendy came out and Bamford was able to pretty easily round him. So Mendy's sweeper keeper abilities are perhaps something to keep an eye on, but 2 mistakes is not something I'm super stressed about, right? Like, I know how good he is. I know he's not Kepa. So whatever. And then also the loss, like, everyone's going to have injury problems, right? We'll get to this with Liverpool also. But we had 0 healthy wide players. Like, Ziyech is out, Pulisic was out, Callum Hudson-Odoi was out. And, like, as I tweeted to either Grace or Kaylee. I don't remember which one of the two. Probably both. I'm very surprised to find myself wishing that we had kept one of Willian or Pedro just for some coverage because we have no good no healthy wide players. And if our main attacking player out wide is going to be Pulisic, who is made of straw, apparently, and Ziyech, who has missed like 7 games, a bunch at the beginning and one just now, like, then in January, that is a bigger problem. That is something I'm kind of worried about and something I'm hoping they address in January. But overall, like, they were pretty good. They played them to mostly a draw. They hit the post twice, couldn't score, but like shit happens. And Mendy and Silva had a brain fart. Like, I'm not, it sucks, but we were always going to lose eventually.
Was it no fit wide players before this match then? Basically, like wingers, like Pulisic, or did any of them get injured during this match and then have to come off?
Not during the match. It was going into the match. So I said that actually, like right before the match kicked off, that it was going to be a problem. And Lampard doesn't seem to be able to make a system for when we don't have anyone wide. Like, he's trying to put Mount or Havertz as wingers, and that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. Stop doing that.
Maybe, like, if you don't have wingers, like, don't play with wingers.
Yeah, exactly. Although, like, what system doesn't have wide players? Like, that is just hard to mitigate.
4-4-2, mate.
There you go. Classic 4-4-2. I mean, it is doable with Tammy and Giroud up there.
Play the narrow diamond.
Go 4-4-2. Go 5-3-2. Have Reece James and Chilwell work as wing-backs.
Throw crosses into Giroud, full Arteta ball.
Werner and Giroud. Werner running off Giroud up front. Have that. Beautiful pairing as well.
By the end of this match, we had Giroud central and Werner and Tammy out wide.
Like, what is that?
Not anything. It's not anything, is what it is.
That just reeks of fucking, we're 3-0 down to West Brom, let's go 3-0-7 formation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
There was a step before that where you're like, okay, I don't have any players who can play here, so rather than just shoehorning in, I don't know. It just feels a bit like have a different kind of way of playing.
I very strongly agree. I think Lampard keeps hoping that Havertz can play at the wing, and he just can't. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about Chelsea. Like, it's a loss. It sucks. We were always going to lose eventually. It'd been 2 months since we lost, so, like, shit happens.
It is a shame, though, Oscar, because everyone up high in the Premier League drops points. And it felt like a chance, didn't it? You must be disappointed, at least, that there was a chance to get a couple of points on a couple of decent teams.
But Chelsea don't win against top 10 teams, do they? Don't win, so...
I'm going to ignore that comment from...
Can only beat the dregs of the league, apparently.
I mean, fine. If you want to get into it, let me get my notebook, because I did take some fucking stats.
He very much does.
Here he is.
You asked for this. I'll just remind you in 5 minutes.
I'm just going to go make myself another cup of coffee. I'll be back.
Yeah, go for it. Fine. I mean, I did see that tweet making the rounds about how Chelsea can't beat a top 10 team or whatever, so I gathered some information on Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham if we're doing this, because that was a very bad faith, like, let me pick out 2 stats and then make a thing that's not really a thing.
Let me get this one here. Palace were in the top 10 when Chelsea beat us, so go fuck yourselves, putting us as low down.
There you go, yeah. As the table stands as of 3:59 Eastern Time PM on December 14th, then it's when the Chelsea can or not beat the top 10. But yeah, so let's see. I gathered some data on when they played the top 6 and all of their wins for the 3 big teams that are in the title race right now. Chelsea in their matches versus top 6 teams, they have 0 wins out of 3 attempts, although 2 of them were draws. So a total of 2 points out of a possible 9. But if you look at expected, they would have had 2 wins in those 3 for a total of 6 points. So, a couple of unlucky results there against top 6 teams. Chelsea also have 6 wins, only one of which was a quote-unquote Burnley-ing, and that was against Brighton. Looking at Tottenham, very similar, very, very similar thing for Tottenham here, which is why it annoyed me that people on Twitter were throwing this around for just Chelsea. Like, it's such a bad faith argument. But Tottenham, 3 games versus the top 6, only 1 win, but unexpected, they would have 0. And they're currently on 5 points against those top 6 teams when they should, quote unquote, when unexpected, they would have had only 2. And then much, much bigger for Tottenham is that of their 7 wins, over half, 4 of them have gone against the XG result, have been Burnleys of a sort. So, like, I'm not worried. Liverpool are terrifying. Liverpool 3 wins in 3 against top 6, and 0 of their wins are Burnleys for the entire season out of 7. So Liverpool, better. Spurs and Chelsea, have on and off days. And you talk about the top 10 thing, like, all of our fucking results are when Kepa was in goal. That's an actual difference. Like, Spurs and Liverpool are who they've been. They are getting better, but they don't have new players to integrate. They don't have a new manager. They don't really have, like, anything particularly different going on. Chelsea very clearly have had to, like, have been building this together on the fly. And one very important difference in terms of, like, how it will affect future performance and how that can be used to predict stuff is the fact that Kepa is no longer in goal. So to me, that's a big caveat as opposed to, like, you know, the other two teams which don't really have that.
Can I add some further weight to your argument?
Sure, yeah.
Is that if you combine Man City and Man United as well against the top 6 teams, I think it's they've played 3 or 4 games each now, so it's either 7 or 8 fixtures, and only one of them has been a win, which was Man City 1-0 against Arsenal. The others have been draws or losses, and Man United lost to Arsenal. And in fact, looking at Arsenal's 3-1 loss to Liverpool, 1-0 loss to Man City, 1-0 win against Man United, 2-0 loss to Tottenham. So it just seems to be all of the top teams can't beat each other.
Yeah, except Liverpool, let's not talk about that. Like, whatever.
But then they're beating the top teams, but then they are the opposite of Chelsea, where it's like, no, we can't win against the bottom teams.
Yeah, and I do think also, like, one of those games where Chelsea can't beat the top 6 or whatever was against Spurs, and they tried, but Spurs just, like, didn't want anything other than a 0-0 draw to happen, and they got that, but, like, that is also a Tottenham not win against one of the top teams. Like, that cancels itself out, you know what I mean?
But Jose likes minus points. He likes taking points off of other teams.
Correct.
That sustains him just as much as his team getting the win.
Yeah. Hashtag driven by malice.
And I mean, that is the classic Mourinho, right? Like, he's doing it now, and Chelsea to a lesser extent are kind of doing it now. You draw against the top teams, and you win against the other 14 or the other 17 or however many are, like, other teams. So the fact that Chelsea's losses and wins are lined up with where they should be, to me, indicates a very predictive performance over the course of a season, whereas, like, Tottenham's loss was against, or rather, like, Tottenham drew against a 12th place team and an 11th place team. That's not good. And, like, Liverpool lost to 10th place, drew with 16th, and drew with 18th. Those are points that those teams should be getting and that they dropped, whereas Chelsea are picking up the points that they should be picking up. So it seemed like a very bad faith argument, but I figured one of you was going to bring it up, so I wrote down some numbers, and that's kind of what
It was going to be me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But let's move on to Sunday then. Southampton, Sheffield, don't care about either of those teams. Southampton randomly in 4th place.
We're going to do Fulham dirty. Are we really going to do Fulham dirty?
Oh, I figured you would want to talk about Palace first, and then we'll get to Fulham.
Oh, wait, hang on. It's because you combined 3 fixtures, so now you're...
Well, I started to combine them, and then you were like, no, talk about Chelsea. I want to talk about Palace, and so that's where we're at.
Oh, God, I don't know what's happened.
It's okay. We'll get there.
He struggles with time, Oscar. You can't go out of chronological order. He struggles.
I know, he's very confused. It's like me trying to subtract decimals. That's not going to work out.
I like it.
I'm not trying to do you dirty, Chuck. I'm trying to do Southampton dirty, because Southampton are in 4th. They beat Sheffield. Sheffield are a train wreck, the worst team ever, quote unquote. Southampton are in 4th, but I'm not talking about them because unexpected. They're like barely above Arsenal, so fuck that.
They jumped, because I did tweet this out, that I looked at their expected before this game, and they were about 16th or 15th or something like that. But then obviously they play Sheffield United and jump a load of players. But fuck me, like, for all of Wilder coming out and saying, like, oh, we're just a shit team at the minute playing shit, etc., like, and fair enough owning it, then do something. I mean, we joked about the way they were playing last year, and obviously they caught a lot of teams out, but they scored 38 goals last year, right? Which is not a lot. There's one per game, but they finished in the top 10. John Lundstrom, FPL darling John Lundstrom, was directly involved in 9 of those goals. Five goals, 4 assists. So 25% of their goals for the season. So they drop him and bring in a different player to replace him. What's the logic in there for me? I get if you want to take your club to the next level, fine. But they've the two extremes can happen, that they've injected a load of money and tried to become bigger, and then also that they fucked themselves at the bottom by doing that, because they brought in Sander Berg, who is meant to be this incredible player, who knows, meant to build the team around him. Why? What does he do? Who knows? You pay 20 million for Ryan Brewster, who is not playing, and the fact is, before, I said it again, it's a massive gamble player, especially for a club like Sheffield United, who are putting a lot of their money into it, of a guy who had made 19 or 20 appearances in his senior career in the league below.
But we still don't know if it's going to pay off, because he's not fucking playing.
But they're not, and the thing is, they're not fucking doing anything and scoring goals now.
No, and they need to change it up. Like, they desperately need to change it up, because, fine, they're not actually as bad as 1 point, right? Like, I don't think that they're the worst team ever. But even if you sort by expected,
technically,
they're still...
after 12 games, they are, apart from Manchester United in 1930 to 1931, that had 0 points after 12 games in a top flight season. Sheffield United is second.
So they are not literally the worst team. So
in
I was
the modern era,
right.
In the Premier League, they are the worst. This is the worst start ever for the Premier League team.
What I'm trying to say is, unexpected, they're on about 11 points, so they're like really, really severely underperforming. But that does not make them a good team either, because I've kind of seen the other argument of like, well, they're underperforming, so we shouldn't talk about how bad they are. Like, no, they're still real fucking bad. They're still in the relegation zone, unexpected. Like, yes, they're better than West Brom and slightly better than Burnley, but like, they're still a really bad fucking team. And so I think that, bring Lundstrom back in. Why wouldn't you give it a shot?
You picked up on it last week, and we said about it with Watford, is that if you get to a certain point where you're underperforming by that much, like, you can't get it back. Because the simple fact is if you... I mean, regress to the mean doesn't feel right here, because that implies moving backwards. So I'm going to say they need to progress to the mean. I don't know if that's the thing, but they need to progress to the fucking mean, because at the minute, if they then do a normal season, and in a normal season for the last 4 years, I think 35 points has got you it, right?
Yeah, it's always less than 40. 40 is a thing that managers aim for, but you don't usually have to get 40. Yeah.
No, not now. And so if Sheffield United at the minute are about 10 under, and then they progress to where they're supposed to have been expected to, they need to be aiming for a minimum of 45 points then. Simply because they've got them. But for them to actually get more safe, they probably need to basically start hitting top 6, top 7 form with the 26 games that are left in order to do that. Because it's once you get to a certain point, it doesn't become about performing to your level. It then becomes about performing way over and above.
Right, exactly, yeah. Because if they actually regress to the mean in the correct sense of the word,
progress to the mean,
they're getting
can't regress any further. They'll get negative points. They'll get a points deduction just for being shit.
I will not even remotely engage with this.
Ian, I really thought if I addressed the rules of what actually regressing to the mean was, he might let that one slide.
Suck him in.
I'm trying to make a point here. Which is that they get less than one expected point per match. So even if they regress to the mean in the true sense, they will still only end up on, you said there's 26 matches left, right? They'll end up on like 24 or 25 points for the season.
Yeah.
That's like, they have to wildly overperform or radically change the underlying numbers and then perform to that to get out of this hole.
So change something. It's so irritating watching them cross to people who can't get on the end of crosses. I mean, this is like what Arsenal were doing. It's just play Brewster and maybe just keep it on the floor. Just try something different. Don't go wide and cross to people who are struggling with aerial duels at the minute, because it's just not happening for them. So that's the annoyance. As Chuck says, you've got so little time to change it now and do something positive, because what's happening isn't working. It's been worked out. And
the fixture congestion for the festive season is coming up, and so it's going to be game week after game week after game week. It's already looking like it's at the point now where Sheffield aren't going to come back from this, and so I think if they're happy to keep Wilder and go down with Wilder, then that's fine. But then something needs to happen, and it doesn't come from them spending more money in January. And I don't think if they are at that point, Sheffield United fans need to accept the fact that that's not a good business plan, it would then become about them, right, who do we sell? Who do we renegotiate? How do we get something so that when we go down, we have a chance of coming back, like Norwich had last year, is that they had a plan anyway, that they kind of knew where they were at, so that it wouldn't be too much of a financial hit. So I keep an eye on that. I think unless Wilder gets sacked in the next week or so, 2 weeks, I don't see there being any point in getting rid of him.
I don't know who they'd get better, so I don't see that happening. But, just a little bit of variation in what you're doing might help.
Mm.
Yeah, but mathematically, it's so unlikely that they'll stay up at this point. So
yeah.
Oh well. But let's move on to something much more exciting, Chuck.
Yeah.
And that is Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 1. Crystal
then.
Palace 1.9 to Tottenham's 1.4. You guys would have unexpected gotten a 2-1 win against league leaders and greatest team in the world, José's Tottenham Hotspurs. Take it away, Chuck.
José got a José, but Hodgson got a Hodgson. You know what I mean?
Big time.
It is the stoppable force versus the movable object in that sense. Yeah, that was good. It was very very surprising. Sorry, and I think it's kind of the star of the show here has to go to Guaita. As much as the front four is starting to click in a way that I didn't think would. At the start of the season, I never would have put it as... I mean, Eze and Wilf, sure, but to then put Schlupp and Benteke with that really seems to be working very, very well. Eze's set-piece delivery is fantastic. He's already... we went a long time, really, without getting many set-piece goals at all. Now we've had a couple from corners, direct free kicks, and obviously consequences of free kicks this year. But their link-up is really, really good. But Guaita, I mean, the first goal... Well, the Tottenham goal aside, which, fair enough, when you see it from the angle, it travels a fair whack. And
it knuckled quite a bit.
The knuckle, Jesus Christ, it was a knuckle sandwich. Kane hit it, and they did show quite a good camera angle that was pretty much behind the original flight of the ball.
Yeah.
And for about 60-70% of the way it's travelling, it is going straight. And then it veers just enough that I can see how it wrong-footed Guaita at that time. And it's like you said with Mendy, Oscar, like he doesn't make mistakes very often. And so you can kind of forgive them.
I thought the pundits and the commentators were really harsh on him about that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks bad because it's near his body and he gets a hand on it, but the movement was so fucking tricky on that.
It was slightly unsighted as well. I thought it was really unfair.
Mm. Yeah, Genus was a bit like, oh no, I should be doing better there, but then he's also got the Tottenham loving kind of angle. And I think Alex Scott, I mean, she's great anyway. I love Alex Scott. She did a really, really good job of kind of nailing down and actually giving Palace a bit of time this week.
She did actually. Yeah, it was really good.
Last week in the West Brom game where we won 5-1, it was 4.5 minutes on a VAR decision and then 30 seconds something, and you're like, feels a bit shit. And I know a lot of fans kind of say that about the lower down clubs, that it's never about them doing well, it's always about the other team not doing or underperforming. But anyway, I digress. But Guaita, he makes that, it can be a mistake and an incredible shot at the same time. Like both those things can exist.
Yeah.
Sure.
But then after that, like absolute fucking worldy saves pulling off. I mean, there were the two at the end from, you had, I think it was Ndombele's shot came in, then bounces up and Ben Davis, that was it. Ben Davis does the kind of cross that looks like it could cause a lot of problems and go under the bar, which he scored one of those, I think, this season as well. Then comes out to Ndombele, who fires it into Kane, and from, 3 yards out?
Yeah.
Just gets down so fucking quickly to his left to parry it.
Great reflexes.
It was phenomenal. Really phenomenal.
Like, strong enough hands to stop it from going in, but soft enough to kind of divert it and go to a different player. And then obviously Dyer's free kick was... I don't think Dyer could have hit that much better. Like, that was a phenomenal dead ball delivery. He could maybe have gone about a half a yard to the left, but Guaita got getting up there for that in the 90 whatever minute. Like, that's a bit of a sucker punch. But because I didn't watch the game live, but from what Oscar said, even before, he was like, Tottenham had a 1-0 lead at half time and said, I hope you're all braced for second half Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
and that he just tries to stink it out. And I think, Palace getting the goal when they did then kind of made Tottenham come alive a bit again. And you could tell that from the highlights package, the way it stacked, because towards the end it was just Tottenham. But
oh yeah, the last 10 minutes were like, what's it that Sam Jackson says in Jurassic Park? Hang on to your butts.
Hang on to your butts, yeah.
Yeah, it was very much that. But I do want to take a second to shout out the Palace attack, because yes, Guaita was probably the best player and helped get you that point, but Eze and Zaha are really, really developing an understanding with each other, and we saw it last week with all the goals that they scored, but I think it was even more evident, or to me it was more impressive despite not scoring 5 goals this week, that they were doing it against a Jose Mourinho side, and a very talented Jose Mourinho side at that. One of the better ones he's had since probably that season that we won 14-15 with Fabregas and Costa going crazy. But he was looking to defend, and Palace still kept creating chances. They were getting through Spurs, which is not easy to do. Just look at Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. We tried to break them down, and we generated, 0.7 XG? You guys put up 1.9. That's genuinely impressive. And it was very much other people were coming in. Benteke looked good. You said Schlupp looked good. I honestly didn't even notice him myself. But the way Eze and Zaha were floating around each other, almost like a dual star system, out in outer space, in in the galaxy or whatever, and they really did rotate around each other and seemed to constantly be aware of the other player, and it was working really, really fucking well. And
sorry, I keep saying my background.
Chuck just changed his background to space on the Google
Zaha
call.
in space. Safe.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny to just me and Ian, but the rest of you guys have to hear about it. It was great. Honestly, it's great to see them. But we should also touch on Spurs for a second. I just want to say, Spurs are great. I'm not trying to talk shit about Spurs. I mean, I'm always trying to talk shit about Spurs. Spurs are great. But much like with Chelsea, where we were always going to lose, the Tottenham run of Burnleys, right? The run of results against the underlying numbers is not sustainable. And yes, expected goals and expected numbers are literally for the average player, the average team. That's how they're calculated, is just doing the average of all shots from that position in similar situations, etc., etc., etc.
Better teams be better, worse teams be worse.
Better teams be better, worse teams be worse. Yes, and Heung-min Son has always been an excellent finisher. So his ratio of shots, goals to expected goals, has always been around 1.4-ish. The double pivot guys were talking about this. I don't know these numbers off the top of my head. But this season, he's been at 2.3 or something insane. Unless, yes, he's better than expected goals. He's better than an average striker, an average finisher. But the numbers he's putting up now, unless he's all of a sudden better than Lionel Messi was at his peak, which I guess is hypothetically possible. He has taken a significant jump, I think, in quality this year. But unless he's all of a sudden better than the best year of Messi, he can't keep this up. And Spurs will overperform, but they're 6th on expected points. That is, they'll overperform a couple of spots. They'll probably overperform to the top 3, top 4.
It's a combination of when you know how Jose played, how he plays, and how he can defend and try and, defend the leads and just frustrate teams and those kind of things. You saw it with Arsenal last week, where some people are saying, "Oh, he respected Arsenal." It's no, he didn't. He just knew they didn't have to do fucking anything else, and they could just let Arsenal play, and it was just going to be water hitting rock. It's just never going to do anything. Just breaking away, done. Obviously, you can't play Arsenal every week, mate. Jeff Slupp going to get you, but. It's at that point that you're okay, like you said, it's not sustainable. But if it not being sustainable and the negative consequence is that you just get a point when you still by XG didn't deserve it, although it's close, it's 1.4 to 1.9, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
That's still positives, and that's still a different Tottenham than we've seen in previous years.
Oh, it's light years ahead of any Tottenham team we've seen since, I would argue, Bale and Modric at their
and it just seems to be based on what we've said earlier with the top 6 teams and their terrible records against each other that none of them want to beat each other. It's just that's what it is about this year. Is all these teams are going to try and grind out points or 3 points against each other somehow and nick it, which is so weird because that's almost like the way that teams in relegation play against each other and then just try to blow away the teams lower down the table. Just makes you think that the way the league is shaped up at the minute, and with it still being fairly even, and there being 8 points between 13th and 1st after 10 to 12 games, depending on who you are. I mean, for fuck's sake, if Villa win their 2 games in hand, which is Newcastle and Burnley, they're 3rd. And so, the league shook up a bit for a week, but if this is the way it's going to play, it could be interesting and still make it quite tight that you do actually get clusters of teams that are still going for the league at the end, which is good. And there's no reason why Tottenham and Liverpool and Chelsea can't be in that conversation, as well as Man City, we'd assume, once things come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good place to transition then to Fulham, Liverpool. Honestly, I don't really have that much to say about this. Fulham played Liverpool to an actual draw. It was 1-1, 1.7 to 1.8 on XG. So maybe 2-2 is slightly more reflective. But, I don't know. Is it just because Van Dijk was missing? Because this was most of their players. Alisson was there, Robertson and Trent Alexander were there.
Fulham just didn't let them rest. It was great from the first fucking
Fulham
minute.
Fulham looked great.
I called it. I called it last week. I said Fulham looked better. I don't worry as much. Still worried. Safira, sorry. But that was just fantastic to see. And the progress from Fulham is absolutely mad. Because their last 3 games, they've got 4 points against Liverpool, Man City and Leicester. That's phenomenal. If they can carry that over into the other teams, the teams that are around them in the table, or the teams that are prone, all the teams are prone to a rick and an off day, they can stay up. They can be better than Burnley and West Brom and Sheffield United. But it's just whether it can be sustainable to that point. But Scott Parker that team does seem to be gelling a lot more, creating stuff. Rubin's still a beautiful man. Don't take Rubin off. Sub Rubin off, 5 minutes later, Salah goal.
These things are not coincidences.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't really have thoughts on Liverpool. I think you're right to praise Fulham. They are gelling as well as Scott Parker's hair. Huh?
No, very
hair
good.
Gel? Huh? Very good. That's all. I just wanted to make that pun.
He's a Dapper Dan man.
I said, I don't know if I tweeted it from our account or from my account, but I said he looks like he's perpetually auditioning for the role of James Bond.
Yeah, which is fine until he opens his mouth, but yeah.
Then he's auditioning for the streets. Every post-match interview feels like a spoken word poem. It's fantastic. But no, and they've got, just to highlight again, they've got unlucky Brighton next, and then Newcastle. So 2 really good games for them that they've got to be targeting and get something from.
There you go. All right. I know Leicester are in 3rd, and people are going to be like, why aren't you talking about Leicester? Why aren't you talking about Leicester? Until their non-penalty underlying numbers pick up, I don't really have much interest in them. I don't care about Brighton. I definitely don't fucking care about Arsenal and Burnley, so I'm more than happy to skip these 2 fixtures because I think they're really fun.
Hey, God, come on. You can't not dedicate at least 35 seconds to just laughing at Arsenal.
Yeah.
All right, let's say on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Granit Xhaka, shutting up his doubters. You know how I said last week, if you're Slaven Bilic with Mateus Pereira and you're in a relegation battle and you get silly red cards like that, Arteta and Xhaka, that's the exact fucking same.
I have some sympathy for the sort of red mist red card which happens instantly, where a player is fouled badly and gets up and reacts instantly. This was 10 seconds after because he thought he'd been tripped up. In the...
Well, I think that Burnley player, I can't remember who it was, Woodhill or something, knew exactly what he was doing. He stood just in the right place to move him back, to fall down with him, because it's just... Everything you do on the football pitch is documented. Everybody knows everything about every player. So if you've got a player that's really easy to wind up and can get sent off, you're gonna make it. It
was like you did at school, where you sort of crawled behind someone and then someone else pushed him.
That was pretty much
that's what they were doing. But even so, if that happens You don't get up and grab someone by the throat, you fucking moron. I mean,
yeah, that was pretty
so dumb.
But what's weird is the ref didn't give a straight red when he was stood there for that.
Looking
he then had to go to VAR
it.
and say, "Oh, did he grab him by the throat?" Oh, wait.
It's what I saw, what really happened, like directly in front of my face. I'm not sure. I better go check. That I booked him for.
Yeah. 38 crosses. 38 crosses they played in that game as well.
That's not as good as their 44 the other week.
Not as good as 44.
Yeah.
No.
Downward trajectory.
I'd rather get a red card and an early shower than play for Arteta's Arsenal too. So I don't really blame him in that
Maybe he's much cleverer than I'm giving him credit for. You might be right.
Yeah, exactly.
Big fuck you to Arteta though. Arteta's tried to bring him back into the fray.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. Like, some people are just beyond fucking hope.
Yeah.
And Granit Xhaka is one of them. One of many.
If you're an Arsenal fan, write into us. Are you ready to admit that Arteta's a problem and needs to go yet, or not? Because I've been waiting for that.
It's the whole
from
situation.
All of the Arsenal fans I know.
We said like a year ago that literally, genuinely, and it's funny enough it's come around again, and I didn't even start it. They need like someone like Big Sam to go in there. And what's funny is managers like that, those firefighters, their price is only going up by the fucking week. So they need to
get him in early.
Sort something out. They even need to get rid of all these like negative players, the ones that clearly just can't keep their heads and don't give a shit about Arteta and don't want to play for him. Or they need to change the manager, or they need to do something. Just...
Yeah, because they are very close to falling into the relegation scrap, so make some moves.
That is great, though. I love that.
Yeah. Or don't. That'd be great.
Change my mind. Keep Arteta.
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka every week.
All right, well, that's enough soccer. Let's do some other stuff. I don't know. I don't want to host anymore, so pass it off for second half duties to somebody else.
Second half? Jesus. Are we going for... anyway, are we going for this long again? Blimey.
Standard.
Okay, let's do some listener questions. We've not done listener questions in a while. We've got a few good ones as well. Johnny Werthers asks, he wants us to rank these 3 spicy sauces. Tabasco sauce, horseradish sauce, and then he's delightfully put local mustard sauce, i.e. English for us, Chuck, or that yellow mustard that Americans have.
We have yellow mustard and we also have spicy mustard. Either one sucks. Fuck mustard. I'm staying out of this question. The only one of those that I like is Tabasco, so...
Yeah, Tabasco number 1, the others get in the bin.
You don't like horseradish?
Don't like horseradish, don't like English mustard, don't like wasabi, don't like that flavour. It's fucking garbage.
Gross.
Wow.
American mustard can
sucks.
be. I had this sauce the other day, which is like I can't remember if it was South or North Carolina barbecue sauce, which was like a spiced kind of American mustard that was really good.
There you go, probably North Carolina.
Yeah, it was yellow.
I'm quite upset because I've had to change my barbecue sauce because the supermarket I shop at doesn't do the one I usually have. So I have bought a Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. Have either of you tried that? Is it poor?
I like it, but it's trashy.
Yeah. But that's why, I mean, I might be all right with that. But
you more a sweet barbecue
no,
or
smoky.
A tangy or a smoky? Okay. What's your brand of choice?
It's Basic Bitch. It's I think it's an HP smoky barbecue sauce, but they don't seem to do it in my Sainsbury's anymore.
That is quite Basic Bitch.
It is.
Man, I had an absolute fucking nightmare, speaking of barbecue sauce a couple of weeks ago, because I ordered this like amazing barbecue sauce from this really little like one mom and pop shop barbecue place in Texas, Stubbs Barbecue in Austin, Texas. And I ordered the variety pack as like a little Christmas present to myself. And 3 of the 4 bottles were fine. And then the 4th bottle got fucking shattered in transit.
Oh.
So I got a box full of barbecue sauce bottles covered in barbecue sauce inside of bubble wrap.
And glass.
And the one that got broken was my favorite flavor.
Oh.
So if any listeners feeling really nice, send me a bottle of Stubbs Barbecue.
2020 strikes again.
Yeah, absolute nightmare.
Right, so Tom Townley asks, and this is very much just for me and you, Chuck, although we'll maybe find some American equivalent. But this is more of a sort of Christmas-themed question, the confectionery of Christmas. Quality Street or Roses, and which is the best one in the box? So to explain to Oscar, we have a sort of chocolate selection that you can have that very much you have at Christmas time, and there's a couple of different brands, and Quality Street or Roses is the eternal choice. Do you have any sort of
It's because they put them in tins and then they whack £3 on the price. And everyone, it's just like, it's one of those things, like a Christmas pudding that everyone buys every Christmas, but no one really eats it. Like, you'll have my mum on a counter will just have like a box of Quality Street or a box of Celebrations, like an assortment thing, and then she'll have like a thing of Twiglets and then cheese footballs and then something else, and just things that no other time of the year you'd ever buy.
Did you say cheese footballs?
Cheese footballs, yeah.
Yeah.
I want that. You don't even need to tell me. I want it. That's fine. It's got cheese in the name.
You'd probably like it because it's like
powdery.
So obviously they're footballs they're kind of, it's almost like a wafer crisp.
Yeah, it just sort of disintegrates in your mouth.
Really weird. But then it's filled with like a condensed ball of cheese powder.
Yeah.
Like Doritos?
No, not
like,
as tasty.
This is like next level shit. And it like starts to form almost like a cheese paste in your mouth and just sticks.
I'm in. Yeah, all right, I'm in. Let's do it.
You'd fucking love it.
I don't know that we have any like Christmas chocolate. I mean, I'm sure we do. It's America. There's a Christmas version of literally everything because, capitalism. But growing up, my mom always used to get this like tin, basically almost like a laundry basket size, like a hamper almost, but small, like a small hamper, not like the big fucking ones.
No, that'd be silly.
Of Christmas popcorn. So the tin would be decorated with like paintings of like Santa and fucking Christmas stuff. And then inside, there would be 3 kinds of popcorn. There would be your sweet like kettle corn, there would be your original, and there would be your cheese popcorn. And then it would just fill up the bucket. It was like the size of your torso. And then just put like a cardboard divider in the middle.
Festive snack.
And that was our festive snack. So me and my brother still like to date are like, yo, Christmas popcorn, where it at?
Where's my torso-sized tub of popcorn?
Give me a torso of popcorn, yo.
Yep. My brother got the sweet one.
At Halloween, they physically make one that is the shape of a torso, and you just have to bust through the stomach.
Oh, I would love that. That's kind of like a piñata, right?
Yeah.
So combine that, like a Hispanic thing, with some, Christmas English popcorn or American popcorn, and just make a popcorn piñata
out of a severed torso. But what's the golden barrel in that one? I like that one.
That's caramel barrel or something.
Yeah, that, and I like the orange one.
Yeah, you bring up the relative new kids on the block, the Celebrations and the Heroes. So Oscar, this is like mini versions of regular candy bars that are popular in this country. So you have, I don't know, Dairy Milk, Caramel, Maltesers, Mars, Snickers. You have like
Bounty.
Mini versions, and this is what you have out at Christmas all the time. So you don't have that.
That's just Tuesday here.
Okay, fine.
All of our chocolate bars come in like 5 different sizes. There's like snack size, there's mini, there's regular, there's large, and there's extra.
Fun
like
size,
jumbo.
they're called here. Fun size. It's tiny. No one's having fun with that. You're buying 6 and getting depressed.
Okay, so that's that solved. Right, Jeff Pedder says 3 people, dead or alive, to have a dinner party with. Classic question.
Rick Mail. Because he is my comedy hero and I love him and I just wish he was still alive.
Oh, such a good shout.
I would like second one, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Hey.
He's
very good.
He's a fucking G. And the third one would be Damien Delaney to find out why the fuck his ideal meal was just dictators and Keith Richards.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah,
Uncle Stalin's popping
round.
round.
The fucker on why that was his choice.
Jesus fucking Christ. That would be my 3.
Very good. Very good.
Balance to everything.
Yeah. Oscar?
That's a good one. I will go... Let's go. I'll go my favorite mathematician, Sir Isaac Newton. I think the smartest person ever to have lived, in my opinion. Dude wanted to do physics so bad he invented calculus because he was like, you fucking mathematician morons are taking too long. I can't do physics until I have better math, so get out of my way. I'll invent calculus so that I can come back and do my physics. So
it'd be funny if he couldn't take 4 away from a number as well.
Probably not. I will go my favorite author, Kurt Vonnegut Jr., R.I.P. in peace, rest in R.I.P. We love you, we miss you. He made the world a better place with his sarcasm and found hope in really dark situations. So I think 2020 would have been a good year to have Kurt Vonnegut around. And you know what? I'll take Dave Grohl also, because he's my favorite drummer. Have I told you guys about the time I met him for 5 seconds? And just, like, vomited excitement all over him,
Oh,
basically?
yes. I do remember that.
There you
Yeah. The good thing is then that we can combine our dinner party, and because there'll then be... Wait, will that make 6? No, that'll make 7. Someone's got to go, because it's the rule of 6.
Rule of 6. Well, if you're in a certain tier, of course.
Yeah.
I vote for Chuck to go, and then I go to dinner with 5 awesome people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is upsetting. I'd probably have Ryan Giggs' ex-wife, and Ryan Giggs' brother.
Nice.
You just want to start shit.
I just want to watch that happen. That just sounds good. I think I might refer, in reality, I think I'd probably refer back to a couple of the people from my Aaron Ramsey death list. I'd probably go David Bowie.
Rickman, Bowie, Ramsey.
Well,
go to town on him.
No,
Stop scoring goals, you prick!
Stop killing people. David Bowie, definitely. Robin Williams would be brilliant. And then I'll probably add Freddie Mercury to that. I think that would be a rocking dinner party.
Yeah, big time.
I feel like you've got to go dead people because you've got to take opportunities. I might meet living people. There's a chance I could meet these people and have a dinner party. Remote, admittedly. I live in Peterborough. I don't do anything. It's unlikely. But dead, I feel like you've got to take the opportunity to have dead people.
Sure, yeah. Although I guess the way you're describing that makes me think that I wasted mine as well. Can I change my answer to Zac Efron, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Alexandra Daddario?
Oh, Alexandra Daddario. Yeah,
Alexandra Daddario, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Zac Efron.
He wins.
I thought it was just going to be a parade of people whose dicks you want to see, and then you dropped in Daddario. So.
Yeah, a bit of both. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, and finally we'll go with Tom Townley again. He says, do any of you believe in any conspiracy theories? I mean, this is a rich vein, surely.
I think I've started a few, haven't I?
Yeah, maybe we should save this for a special Patreon episode or an international break. Where do I even fucking begin? Jesus.
Still seeing these bloody monoliths appearing
I'm not
everywhere.
convinced that they're not something to be worried about. I'm just saying.
I'm a bit worried that a load of lightning bolts are going to hit them all and then the Earth's going to explode.
Oh my God.
That'd be 2020.
Well, I'm worried about that now.
Well, Jesse left Little Mix today, so that's got to be something to do with it.
End of days stuff. End of days stuff.
Genuine answer, I definitely think that there was more than one JFK shooter. Like, I'm very convinced of that. And I've read books about it, I've watched movies about it. Like, we joke about conspiracy stuff. I'm, like, vaguely into conspiracy stuff, but that one, like, as an American, is one that, like...
Has to be.
Yeah.
You can't have a magic bullet. It doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm like, extremely convinced that there was at least one more shooter. I also think that the CIA did it, but whatever. Oh, no. Sorry. One of his...
He's just remembered.
He was... Yeah. You know what? I won't even go into it, because it's going to turn into like a whole 5-hour thing. This is too much of a rabbit hole.
Come on.
It was one of the Secret Service guys by accident, basically. Like, he got shot. It was savable. The guy in the other car was like, shots fired, looked around, and then accidentally shot.
Thought, who do I shoot? The guy that's already been shot. It's like Pulp Fiction. Just
exactly.
Oh shit,
yeah.
I shot Marvin in the face.
Exactly. But yeah, JFK definitely...
Definitely, that's that covered, definitely.
That's a given, for sure. What about you guys? Anything actually, like, jokes aside?
I think basically everything that could be a conspiracy theory, I believe, is a conspiracy theory, apart from the really dumb stuff that's been proven by science not to be, such as flat Earth.
So I'm confused with that sentence, Chuck. So do you believe all conspiracy theories or you reject all conspiracy theories?
Yeah, believe them all until they're rejected.
Okay, right.
Show me evidence, then I'll believe to the contrary. Otherwise, I'm everywhere.
Hard answer, yes or no. Aliens, have they been to this planet and interacted with humans?
Ugh.
No.
I mean, there's a good reason why they're not still here.
There you go.
They just went, these guys are going to sort themselves out, or just fucking...
Moon landing, happen or not?
No, didn't happen.
Are you serious?
Yeah, didn't happen. How'd you have 2 shadows, bruv?
Oh, fuck.
I strongly go back and forth on that one, if I'm being honest. My logical brain is like, it happened.
Why is it every time someone challenges Buzz Aldrin, his automatic response is punch him in the face?
Because he's a fucking legend. That's why.
What's he hiding? Why didn't he want to answer questions, yo?
Real answer, they went to the moon. But maybe... I don't know. I'm just saying it makes sense that they would do it to prank the Russians. I'm just saying. It doesn't not make sense. I don't know. Do I believe we went to the moon? No, I don't think the moon landing was a hoax. Is it much more likely or possible that it was a hoax than anyone is willing to admit?
No,
Most
not
people
at
are
all.
willing to admit?
No, of course it's not, because you couldn't possibly get the amount of people involved in that to keep quiet for this amount of time.
No?
I mean, MK Ultra literally happened.
Yeah.
MK Ultra is not fake. That is a thing that literally happened.
That's
that
real.
involved like
That's the thing,
many,
exactly.
many people.
People thought that was a conspiracy theory. Nope, we're just giving them all fucking acid.
Fine.
There's a really good podcast about MK Ultra, by the way. I forget the name, but just Google MK Ultra podcast if you want to know all about the program.
That's not Mortal Kombat Ultra. They weren't just all like dressed up as Sub-Zero and Scorpion and fighting each other.
What I didn't think was genuine, but apparently is that this could definitely be a full episode. I didn't realise that, but that was thrown away earlier as an offhand comment. But apparently this could be a full episode, so maybe we'll keep some of this in the tank.
Yeah,
I think so.
Right.
I think we could do that.
Okay. Should we move on?
Ian doesn't believe anything, Oscar. That's why he wants to move on. Either that or he's a flat earther and he's just keeping quiet.
He's just keeping quiet. He doesn't want to get involved.
No, there might be things I believe. There might be conspiracy theories I believe, but I think genuinely this is clearly a much richer vein than I thought it was going to be.
I'm not joking when I say that me and Chuck are very inclined to believe conspiracy theories. It's like the one way that I allow myself to be irrational.
Yeah.
Because like I'm math, I'm science, I'm blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, but ghosts might exist. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right, stop. Right, yeah, brilliant. That's excellent, and we will put a pin in it because
let's move on.
I think we definitely need to do an episode on that. So should we move on to what everyone's really here for?
Bluff, bluff, bluff it up. Get it bid high. Get that. Make some guesses, then you answer questions. It is currently 3-2-1. Oscar's in the lead. He can't get points. He's the quiz master this week. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Excellent. Excellent. Before we jump in, I want to say shout out to the best Spurs fan I know and lovely Patreon Jeff Petter for giving me a suggestion as far as the theme for this week.
You outsourced your questions.
He came to me. I didn't even ask. He just said, hey, you should do this. And I was like, that's a fucking brilliant idea. Yeah, big time. So shout out, Jeff.
Oh, fucking hell.
Have...
He screwed you. I hope he screwed you over.
No. I think you'll find. So there's two pretty straightforward categories and then one that I'm hoping will be the tiebreaker because I'm very excited about how...
So engineer it like that, Oscar. You make it like that.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I'm not going to lie. I do what I want.
There are no rules.
So, everything this week, and good thing you changed the intro song. It's perfect for this because everything is Christmas themed.
Yay!
Jingle, 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 jingle. I don't know. So, there you go.
That just
Very
makes
good.
it feel like a dream sequence.
Yeah, it does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Chuck.
Hello.
You said that Ian always gets to go first, so I'm calling you first. Would you like A, B, or C?
A.
All right, very good. As I mentioned, there are two very straightforward categories, so you will see what you guys bid on here. But there are nine reindeer that help fly Santa's sleigh, according to the 1823. Well, it was 8, and then they added a 9th. Whatever. The Santa's reindeer. There are 9 of them. How many can you name?
Okay. This becomes about calling out Ian because I know all of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely don't know all of them, so let's just immediately. So how many?
I'll say 8. So if you want it, you've got to name all of them.
Brutal.
Oh, that's so annoying. But I've got to go 9 then because I believe you that you know 8.
Yeah, now I'm going to annoy myself because I got too cocky. But...
So I've got to go 9.
All right, now there are 2 here that have alternate names depending on different cultures around the world.
Don't caveat it. Just give it.
It's basically the same. In case I don't know which one is the British one, so in case yours is slightly different, I wrote both down.
I know they're all from the North Pole, mate. None of them are British. We're not that Brexit.
Okay.
You have to name all 9 of Santa's reindeer.
Olive.
Point to Chuck.
Okay, I've got Donna,
Written down. Of course he has.
Yeah, I've written a couple down, yeah.
Yep.
Blitzen.
Yep.
Rudolph.
Yep.
Dasher.
Yep.
Dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Prancer.
Yep.
Cupid.
Yep. 2 more.
Comet.
1 more.
They rhyme, don't they? So it's just I've missed a rhyme.
He's such a cheating little
I've
prick,
missed a
isn't he?
rhyme. I've missed a rhyme. That's all.
He's just a prick.
Vixen.
Oh, I definitely don't know them. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Cupid, Comet, Donner, Blitzen.
Whoever won had to take all of them, and I think you did the right thing giving it to me. It's just that
Well, I just thought I'd get your confidence back, because after last week, it meant you're probably never going to take a category again. So this way.
Very well done, Mr. Simpson. The 2 with alternate names, depending on which country you're from. Donner is also known as Donder with a D, so Donder, which is actually his original name in the 1823 poem that all these are derived from. And Blitzen in the original poem was Blixem, Blixem.
Changed it to Thunder and Lightning.
Yes, that is what they mean.
Yeah, German, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Mr. Simpson. I'll give you, just out of fairness, I'll give you the other straightforward category to bid on.
Okay.
There are, as you may know from the very popular song, 12 Days of Christmas.
I was going to do this and was going to look it up.
And so I need you to name for each of these entries the number, the noun, and the verb. So for example, if we were in the song, we would be 3 potters potting, right? So I'm going to need the full thing, otherwise it's way too easy.
I'll start low. 3.
Ooh, 3. Wow. That is low.
6.
Chuck pushes up to 6. Mr. Simpson, do you want to go higher? Do you want to take it above the halfway mark?
Yeah, I'll go 7.
All right, Ian went 7. Chuck, can you take me higher?
8.
All right, we got 8. Ian, can you take me higher?
9.
All right, Chuck, can you?
No, I can't do that many because I get mixed up past
About the numbers?
9. Yeah,
the numbers is the hard part. For sure,
I know what all the things are.
Yeah,
but it's just the numbers, and so I can't go to 10. So Ian's doing 9.
All right, Ian, give me 9 of the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, I'll start from the break. So
December 13th, December 14th, December 15th.
5 gold rings.
Yes.
4 calling birds.
Yes.
3 French hens.
Very good.
2 turtle doves.
Yep.
Alan partridge in a pear tree.
Aha!
I'll give you that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 4 more, please.
Oh, okay. Is it? There's Lords a Leaping.
Sure, but how many?
Yeah.
We all know what they are, mate.
10 Lords a Leaping.
Very good, yes.
12 drummers drumming.
Very good, yes.
2 more.
What numbers haven't I got? 8 maids a milking.
Yeah. I figured you would get that one.
11 ladies dancing.
Oh, no!
Yes! Piper's piping.
11 is Piper's piping. 9 is ladies dancing.
7 swans are swimming. 6 geese are laying. 8 maids are milking.
5 gold rings. Yep.
Very
good.
Don't feel bad about that one, mate, because that was the one where it was only when Oscar said you were right, I knew for sure. I didn't know on any of them.
Yeah, that is kind of tough.
You can't not get 1 to 5. Like, you can't.
Yeah, that's why I started with that down.
Get those out of the way in case you have another Mo Salah moment, and then that's... But yeah, I would have probably
you
gone 12.
Imagine he just forgets 5 golden rings. Like, that's the one that keeps him out. Oh my gosh.
That's the only present they care about. That's why everyone makes such a big deal, because she's like, 5!
Finally.
Gold rings! Something fucking useful. What am I going to do with all these partridges?
Well, it's just the one partridge.
Well,
Does the pear tree come with the partridge?
No, because it's perpetual.
It's cumulative, yeah.
Each day she gets another, and the partridge. She's got 12 partridges and pear trees in a minute. She's got a fucking orchard.
Wow. So she's got 111 Piper's piping?
No, because that's only on the...
121 Piper's piping?
Why 121? She doesn't get 11 on the first day. Maths.
Yeah.
I told you I can't do
1,
arithmetic.
3, 6, 10, 15, 21. 28.
Well, it can't be 3 because it has to be a multiple of 2.
35.
So it'd be 1, 4, 9. Oh, you just square all
1,
of them.
2,
That's
3,
how
4,
no, you don't.
5.
No, you don't.
You add that each day. So each day it goes up like that. So each day,
Anyway.
on the first day, she gets 1 present. Second day, 3 presents. Third day, 6. Then 10. Then 15. But then you add all the others because maths.
Gotcha. Okay. The last category, the one I'm extremely excited about, but we'll see how you guys do because I do think it's kind of tough.
Oh, brilliant! He's already fucking negged on it.
No, it's a great fucking category. You guys are gonna when I say it, you guys are gonna think it. Chuck,
How many Christmas Beatles? None. Oh.
According to Spotify,
Oh, fuck.
these are the all-time top streamed Christmas songs. I wrote down the top 25.
Okay.
So how many of the 25 all-time most streamed Christmas songs on Spotify can you name?
Okay.
Isn't this a good category?
No.
I'm so proud of this
Yeah,
category.
this is good.
This is one of those ones where you can just go out really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of these, like...
4?
Come on. 4, okay.
6.
All right, Ian's got 6 of
7.
the 25 most streamed. 7.
8.
8, we are approaching the 1/3 mark.
9.
9, Ladies Dancing. Mr. Simpson, do you want to take us to Lords of Leaping?
10.
Okay.
Ultimately, this is just guessing Christmas songs and hoping that they're in the top 25.
Yeah, just guess the most popular
Yeah,
ones.
11.
Yeah.
A lot of these are as obvious as you would think. There are a couple of weird ones because it's Spotify and like young people or whatever, but
Fucking
It's
young
it's
people.
Spotify's global, isn't it?
yes, it's global.
12.
Days of Christmas.
Yeah, do you want to take us to the beyond the 50% mark, Chuck?
No.
All right.
I was riding, even with 7,
Yeah.
I was like,
The 50% mark is a psychological one here, I think, because you are just going with Christmas songs and hoping they're as popular as you think
there's
they are.
it's 100% one of those categories where probably if you had it all in front of you, 23 out of 25 you listen to multiple times every day across Christmas, and then there's 2 weird ones in there.
I will say this. I gave this list to my brother, and he got 13.
Okay.
So 12 is, I think 12 is right around the range where you're like, okay, I'm just going to say the 12 biggest Christmas songs I can think of.
Okay.
So you're right in that sweet spot.
I'd just like it in the Bluffer record that I've taken on 3 questions this week.
Oh, I will say this as well, Ian. A bunch of these, obviously, like...
Stop giving caveats.
No. A bunch of these
Stop
have
giving just
multiple
helping him.
artists that have recorded, like, everyone's recorded Frosty the Snowman, right? So you don't have to give me the artist, but if you do...
You can't give extra caveats after the bidding stopped.
Fair
How
enough.
is that
Fine.
fair? With fucking Righty McWriterson down here, just writing down everything that he's got. He's probably got Spotify open in front of him.
I'm not on this one. I'm not.
That you're dropping shit like this is bullshit. Collusion.
He's just mad because he knows you're going to get it, like when you did the 30 Beatles songs. Music is your secret superpower.
This is bullshit.
Okay, let's go then. So,
Just give him the fucking point now. Cheating prick.
so I've got to get 12.
Yeah.
All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah
Yeah.
Carey.
It's got to be number 1, right? Have you got them ranked?
I do, yeah, that's number 1.
Yeah. She makes 500,000 each year just on that song.
Yeah,
That's simply it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Only hit number 1 in the UK this year, last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kept off. It was
Never been
one.
number 1 until this week.
She has a really bad Christmas special on Apple TV Plus if
Yes,
anyone
I saw
wants to
some
watch
clips of that on Gogglebox, which is
Yeah, same.
it. It's not good. And heavily auto-tuned. I wonder if she can't sing anymore, which is sad. But anyway, that is 1. Ian, I need 11 more. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, the number 1 most streamed all-time song.
Great song. Wham! Last Christmas.
Number 2, just running right down the list. Second most ever.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what your caveats were earlier, so I'll go with It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas.
It is number 4.
Doesn't matter. This whole thing's a farce anyway.
Shambles.
Do you want to guess the artist just for fun? I won't give any points,
I
Chuck.
would say the more streamed.
Of course you won't, because that's not what the fucking question was asked.
Okay.
You changed what...
But I would say the more streamed one would be Bublé.
Yes, that's the number 4.
Okay.
Very good.
It's the first one on the album.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
Ooh, you lucky, lucky boy. That's number 24.
Ooh. Is that Michael Jackson?
Springsteen one, probably.
Not Springsteen, no. The most popular version of that song is by Mr. Michael Bublé. He is the only person on the list more than once, and he is here 3 times. Everybody else, not even the Queen of Christmas, Mariah Carey herself.
Just keep giving out hints, mate. Yeah. Cheers.
It's a big album. He doesn't know what the third one is.
Step Into Christmas. No!
I think that's really big in England, but if you recall, I had never even heard it. And I'm obsessed with Christmas music.
Christmas songs.
It's a good song.
It's a great song. It's absolutely a great song. But even I had never heard it. So, sorry, Ian. Do you want to keep throwing stuff out between the two of you guys, though?
Let us know.
Yes. Do you want to guess as to which version? It's number 10 all time.
Dean Martin?
Yeah.
Nope.
Really?
Frank Sinatra, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
White Christmas.
That's on here for sure. Number 12 all time, although that is the number 1 selling Christmas song of all time by almost double the second. I wanted to look up the top selling ones, but there's no charts for the UK, and I figured it would be unfair to just do the American top selling. So yeah. But White Christmas has hold more than twice as much as the second top selling Christmas song of all time.
And the problem with sales and stuff is it's literally every website you go to counts different things and stuff.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
It's a mess for bluffer categories.
So I figured this was like nice, definitive, like Spotify says this is correct. White Christmas, do you guys want to guess on the version?
Of Bing Crosby.
Yeah, gotta be Bing Crosby. That's right. Yeah, that was number 10. No, number 12.
I thought I'd be okay with... I must admit, I totally forgot that you had not heard of Step Into Christmas.
Fairy Tale of New York is...
Yeah, it's got to be up there, surely.
No, it's not. Fairy Tale of New York is not. That's another one that's only popular in the UK.
Yeah.
That's good. But it's not popular with me, so...
Yeah, there you go.
Do they know it's Christmas? Is that just...
Yep, that is, yeah. That's number 9. Comes in above Let It Snow.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, if Kelly Clarkson's on the list, I'm going to lose my mind.
She sure is at number 20.
Oh my God.
Underneath the tree.
I think at least 17 million of those are me.
Fuck.
I played it 14 times in a row when Bournemouth and Watford got relegated.
I cannot believe I missed that.
I was feeling festive that day.
Yeah.
Because it's Spotify. I mean, a weird one is Underneath the Tree there, the Leona Lewis one?
No, Underneath the Tree is Kelly Clarkson. How dare you, sir?
One More Sleep. One More Sleep.
Yeah.
No, that's another one I had never heard.
Okay.
You guys are, you guys are UK heavy, but this is the global list.
Yeah.
So 2 weird ones that I'll throw out from the top 5.
I can't listen to music physically in America.
That can't happen.
There's all sorts of international complications right now. I can't be there.
This one super surprised me. Number 3 is Ariana Grande with Santa Tell Me.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
that makes
okay.
sense, because it's just basic bitch stuff.
It really is. It's very Route 1.
Yeah.
Put bells over it.
The Biebs was at number 5 with Mistletoe, so those are 2 weird ones. But the
Yeah.
rest are not at all surprising. Do you want me to rattle them off, or do you want to keep it on guess out? Yep, Feliz Navidad at number 13.
Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin is not a Christmas song. Do you mean...
It's about a robin. That's a Christmas song.
No. There's Rocking
I don't know.
Around the Christmas Tree. Is that what you meant?
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Oh,
Yep,
Brenda
that's number
Lee.
7 all time.
What? Stevie Wonder. Ba, 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 ba. That's what Christmas means to me.
Nope, not on the list. Great song, but not on the
Spotify
list.
is bollocks, innit? Spotify's just bullshit. I'm so glad I don't give them money. All my money's going straight to Jeff Bezos. Good call.
As it should be.
Yeah. Go through the list, quick.
All right, yeah.
We've been recording for 3
at
days
number
now.
6, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Andy Williams. At number 8, Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. At number
the song
11,
from
Happy
Mean Girls.
Xmas War is Over by John Lennon.
John Lennon,
At number 14 was Michael Bublé's other entry. Ian, I'm surprised you didn't try to find a third Michael Bublé song when I told you that was there. And that's Holly Jolly Christmas. At number 15, Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea.
Oh, I
I've never
nearly
heard
said that, but I thought that would be too UK-centric. I nearly said that one.
That one does feel like it shouldn't.
That's weird that I
I've
ditched
never
that
heard
one
that.
because it was... Yeah, I ditched that one because I thought it would be too UK and went Elton John. That's... Yeah, okay.
There you go. Number 16, The Christmas Song, Nat King Cole, obvious all-time great. Number 17, We All Hate This Song, Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney.
Oh,
This just shows you can't trust the public.
That's true, yes.
Famously,
Number
yeah.
18, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Surprised by the version of this that made it was Sam Smith.
Smith?
Yeah.
It's a really good version.
It's on the...
I really like it.
Follow us on Spotify for the Mop official Christmas playlist from a couple of years ago, which that song is on. Blue Christmas by Elvis, the Elvis version at 19. At 20, we had Kelly Clarkson. We said that. Number 21, Christmas Lights by Coldplay. Number 22, Holly Jolly Christmas, the only song to make 2 appearances on the list. This one by Burl Ives.
Wait, so that would have counted as 2 answers?
Yeah, because you originally said we didn't need artists. Okay, fine.
Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens. I've never heard of that.
I can't see. I've erased that from my mind.
Is that a UK song? I've literally never heard that.
It is, and last year I mixed him singing that on Loose Women, and if you want a laugh, Google that. Fuck me.
Okay, all right. And number 25, Sleigh Ride by the Ronettes.
Sleigh Ride.
Okay.
Sleigh Ride, that's the one. So those are the 25.
I'm upset the darkness isn't there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
All right, so point to Chuck this week.
Well played, Chuck.
3-3-1. Yeah, thanks, Ian. I went the Ian route. Funny enough,
I was going to say I'm being tactically outmanoeuvred in the bluffer in a serious way. This is 3-3-1 now. It's bad times.
Yeah.
And I host next week, so it's going to be 4-3-1. I mean, I'm seriously losing ground already.
Yeah, it's slipping away from you, mate. It is. Never mind. Okay, so fixtures. Well, now...
Should we bother? Because the midweek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Predictions. Chelsea beat Wolves.
Let's not.
Spurs Liverpool. That'll be fun. That's tomorrow or Wednesday.
In the past, for the listener.
Sure.
Not if you get it. Yeah. Not if you get this out Wednesday morning.
That's not going to happen.
It's not fucking happening.
We've been recording for 8 hours.
Condolences. R.I.P.
I tried to rush through those fixtures too. I really genuinely was like, skip.
You need to try harder, mate. Right. So should we do the Saturday fixtures then? Palace Liverpool. Yay.
Rest in R.I.P. Chuck, or are you going to get a result there?
Early kickoff. We'll probably win.
All right, there you go. You heard it here first.
Yeah, so we can't really do fixtures that much, so good luck to everyone. FPL deadline's already been. Unlucky. Gutted if you forgot. Probably Raf probably forgot. He always forgets.
Definitely forgot.
And the next deadline is 11 o'clock. And then that takes us up to, after this week's recording, no more games until Christmas. So we'll do a bit of a review. Ian will do a bluffer. We'll
call it a Christmas special.
Christmas piss up. Should we get drunk? Let's get drunk.
Could do. Yeah, could do.
Sure.
Christmas drink up. Well then, that about wraps us up in this crazy Christmas schedule. So thank you very much for listening. If you want to support this absolute shit show, patreon.com/Miles Offside Pod. Follow us on Twitter. We're giving away a copy of FIFA 21. I keep forgetting to mention that. Nate Whitten produces us. He's got a girlfriend. Say goodbye, Ian.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye, Oscar.
Bye, Oscar.
And if we don't hear from you, Merry fucking Christmas, you filthy animals. And a Happy New Year too.